the same layout, they're almost the same size, they're almost the same weight, and they hold pretty much the same. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to day 5 of the experiment of posting a YouTube video every day to see what it does to my analytics. And I'm filming everything in one go, so at this point I have no idea what's going on so far, because weekends, especially as I film in completely natural light, so this is the only time I've got. There's one hair there. Why is that annoying me? Anyway, today's video is an in-depth comparison of the classic Chanel medium large size bag. I think it's just called the classic now, but you know, this is basically the, as you can see from here, the classic double flap in the medium or medium to large size. I'm comparing that with my newly acquired pre-loved beauty, which is my small, I think this is a small reissue, it's a 225 size. So basically these two are the closest in comparison in size that you can get between reissue and classic. If you look, you can see the classic is ever so slightly taller. The reissue looks to be ever so slightly greater in depth. And then if we look at length, again, I would say that the classic flap just takes it, but they're very minimal. I will go through and do dimensions as well. I will also look at the weight of these. We will talk chain length. I've got some bits and bobs to show you what goes inside. So lots to talk about. I haven't used this yet, so I can't talk to you about how I found this bag out and about. That's going to have to follow more in-depth review, just focusing on this one bag. But they are so similar in some ways in terms of having a turn lock, being a shoulder strap, double flap size, that I can't see that this one will be that much different to wear than this one. Obviously they look completely different in terms of styles and colours. I mean, you can look, we have lamb in classic quilting, we have, not sure if it's sheepskin or calf or goat, but something in pink chevron, like a raspberry pink chevron. So it's coming out slightly brighter on camera than in true life. It's just slightly more raspberryish and muted in real life. I look in the mirror over the opposite that way, look in the viewfinder, they are quite different. So where do we start? Let's start with measurements. And I'll do dimension by dimension. So firstly, let's start off with the base of the classic flap, which I'm going to say is about 26 centimetres. It's slightly rounded, so it's not easy to get exact. So that's 26 for the classic, and for the... Never do anything, never work with, was it children, animals or tape measures on camera, right. And I would say 25 for the reissue. In terms of height, I would say for the classic we are 16 centimetres, yeah, sort of 15 and a half, 16 centimetres height. And for the reissue, again we're about 15, yeah, about 15, yeah, about 15, so it's ever so slightly shorter. Now, depth, so we're looking at this bit. And I'm going to say for the, oh, it's so hard. So because I mean they're not exact. You know, these are made from leather. They, you know, I could look at the line from. If I look, I'm going to go by. Let's go by the stitching line. So I'm going to say that is about 6.5 for the classic. So I've literally gone from there to there. I've not included the puffiness of the quilts, alright? I don't know, I'm not sure what the rules are. Are there rules? And then for the reissue, if I do the same thing, yeah, it's 8. So I thought this was deeper. So that is the measurements. When we weigh them, and I will show that footage now from the cutaway. So what you can see from looking at the cutaway, you can see that this one, if we round it up, that the classic flap is approximately 10 grams lighter than the reissue. Now that could be for a couple of reasons. One, this is lambskin, and lambskin is, for example, lighter than caviar leather. But two, the other things, I've weighed both of these with the straps inside, because for me, I'm like, they form a part of the bag. So the shoulder chains are inside the bag, so they also take part of that weight. And if you just like hold the chains, I would say because of the extra hardware, the reissue is just. So if I just take this out and I just like put it in my hand, there's a fair amount of weight from the reissue chain. If I then do the same with my, sorry, it's all stored away. If I do the same with my classic flap, you can see it doesn't do quite the same, but yeah, I can definitely feel that it is lighter. So I'm wondering if a lot of the weight difference is actually down to the chain. Also, the chain on the reissue, as you can see, is a lot longer, and more on that later in the video, so stay tuned. Right, I'm also going to talk about storage slightly. So, dust bags. Now, I don't know if the dust bag that came with my reissue was how they are when you buy them new, because I bought that pre-loved, so I saved myself a ton of money by doing so. But that came in this black standard cloth Chanel dust bag, whereas the classic flaps, as we know, come in the lovely white, gorgeous quality feeling, like microfibery, stunning dust bags with a little drawing there of Coco Chanel. So yeah, beautiful. Maybe I'll even see if I can get hold of one of these for my reissue. Also, when I store it, because of one of the features of both bags is the pointless interior zip, that all it does is just destroy your bag, to be honest. Can't fit anything in this pocket, completely pointless. And you can see there, just from mainly storage, I've ever used the bag a bit, I have got some imprints there. Now I store mine with felt that came with the bag to try and minimise that. I also keep my bag stuffed to try and keep it all nice, but that is inevitable. Now my reissue, I bought it pre-loved, as I said. It didn't come with any felt or anything, but that's okay. I had a little delivery. Let me share this with you. So from the WOC SAVER, so WOCSAVER.com, I ordered, and there's a number of colours and a number of different bags you can get this for. But I basically ordered myself, you can see the little logo of the store. a felt. Now this was only £5. Yes, you could say you could just do it yourself, buy some felt and cut it out. But I bought this from a company that does such a thing. Let's unwrap it and show you. And I've not, as you can tell, I've not tried this on yet. Now with my reissue, we have a little surprise interior. So I ordered this just to just to be a bit playful really. Now, felt, this is how I would put it, is just over there, and then I make sure that the zip is flat, close the bag like so. So you can see that's all nice and protected inside. Now also, very kindly I was sent this as well. So this is an acrylic base saver. So thank you so much to WOCSaver.com for gifting this to me. I did not know. But like I say, I've been a past customer and did order and pay for a couple of items this order myself as well. But very kindly, when I said what bag I wanted this for, it was very kindly pointed out to me that because one of the features of the reissue bag is that it like folds flat. Sometimes they can be prone to having a bit of a V. Now mine, I think, typically has been kept flat and not stored that way. But if you buy an acrylic base made to fit, then it's just going to make sure that you've got that stability if you want to make sure that this doesn't then sag at all. And you can see that doesn't take up any room in the bag, it doesn't damage it because the corners are all rounded, but it just sits in nicely and stops any sag. So if that is a concern of yours, or like I say, particularly if you've bought a bag pre-loved and it's maybe not been stored how you would want to, or it's lost some of its accessories along the way, like I say, like mine has, then definitely check out WOCSaver.com. So let's talk about the features of the bag and the differences. Obviously this is black, this is lambskin. Let's go on to the hardware. So we've got gold, shiny hardware, and we have this CC clasp that undoes like so. And then we have the shiny gold hardware throughout this leather chain. And again, obviously on the grommets, on the holes there. The reissue, this is my version, but a lot of them, it's very common for the reissues to be in the aged gold hardware. As you can see, it's got the Mademoiselle clasp for no CCs, so it's a lot more subtle. It does say Chanel on it. Let me come in closer so you can see. There we go. It's a really quite small and subtle. And then the chain, stunning detail on the chain, as you can see, but again is all of this aged gold hardware. We move on inside the bag. Same pointless zip inside, same annoying flap. This is due to this being a seasonal bag. A lot of them are the same colours, so don't take account of the colours being a difference, but my particular version it's blue. Mine is made in France, and we've got this pocket here, and then inside it's all open with the lipstick holder and two internal pockets there. Going back, and of course we have the little Mona Lisa pocket on the back. When we look at the classic flap, we have, is it the same size? Pretty much the same size Mona Lisa pocket on the back. Same pointless pocket, same annoying flap, and the contrast of the classic burgundy interior on mine. Same 3 pockets inside. Mine is also made in France, and which is quite nice. I like them made in Italy. And again, this pocket here. When I look at them, it's so hard trying to show you. When I look at them flap open to flap open, they look very similar, basically. In terms of style, I think that due to the colourway, this is probably more subtle. Probably, you know, I can get away with this more for evening events, you know, weddings. This one, obviously, you've got to be a lot more careful about what you're wearing, and it's brighter. I think this is definitely a lot of fun, and a lot of fun against jeans. I mean, I've just got leggings on today, but you can see it goes really nicely against blue. Note the lovely Ugg slippers there. So the same pockets wise. Now what about what fits? I've mentioned before about the lipstick holder inside. Let me just see, because I have always not found it to be very useful, the lipstick holder that comes inside the bags. So I have here a Victoria Beckham lipstick. So it's quite slim, but it's also reasonably tall. Look, it doesn't fit. I have yet to find a lipstick that actually fits the lipstick holder. It needs to be only that tall. Maybe I've just got weird lipsticks. Anyway, what fits inside? I've got a Chanel mini O case here that I've got a compact in and some lipsticky and some makeup-y bits. So let's pop that in. You can see that there. I've got my iPhone 13 Pro, standard size, not large size. So let's pop that in. They've both gone in really easily. Hairbrush, tissues, just randomly using a Louis Vuitton card holder, Hermes Reissue coin purse with coins and a tenner inside, makeup brush. So you can see that all goes in really easily. And then if I wanted to, I've got these Bulgari, just to show you, Bulgari sunglasses, which I really like. Absolutely don't need them today. But I've got these which are just in the little cloth pouch that they came in. I mean, this has probably seen better days, but I really like this. It means that they're protected, but they're not taking up too much room. And obviously they're not protected if you sit on them or something, but if you're just like me, being very careful and just want them in your bag, then again, they just slip on top there and bag closes really easily. So you can see, like, I call it the squidge test. I've put a load of items in, I've got a load of room left. It feels fairly heavy now, but that's due to the items that I've put in it. Right, how does that work out if I put all of those items in exactly the same order into my classic flap? Helps if you undo the bag first. So, mini O case and phone next to each other. I don't remember the order I put this in, but anyway. Hairbrush and tissues going in. Reissue coin purse. Card holder. Feels, again, I think that extra depth of the reissue is coming into play, because this feels slightly tighter. Makeup brush, and then sunglasses on top. I'll show you what it looks like without sunglasses, sorry. It's exactly the same items, fit in like so. I think the extra centimetre in length shows, but then I also feel like the extra depth of the reissue was useful for me. So that goes in. Again, closes no problem whatsoever. Ultimate squidge test. So, that means that they're the same layout, they're almost the same size, they're almost the same weight, and they hold pretty much the same. So however useful you found that, there we go. I think what's going to be more useful is if I move on now and we talk about chain length. So I'm going to do both bags up, I'm going to change the camera angle and we'll talk about that. Okay, so I've got both bags on double strap and you can see if I just have them on my hand there, the difference. You can see the reissue is clearly longer. What does that look like on the shoulder? There, really nice length. So which do I prefer? Probably actually the reissue in terms of how comfortable it is at this height. Also this chain just feel like it sits on the shoulder really nicely and feels less slippy than the classic. So there you can see them, how they are there. Now what happens if we go long strap? Well, one, it slides through easier on this one. So you can see where that sits on me. So if we have it long strap on the shoulder, I prefer the classic. It's just really nice height. This one is okay, but it feels a little swingy. It's a little bit lower. What happens if we move to crossbody? There's the reissue. Really nice height. There's the classic flap. I know a lot of people say they can't do the classic flap crossbody. I can and I do. It is a little high, but it's not, you know, I'm not the most well endowed, so it's not in the way. So I would say that the reissue again wins that one, but the classic really isn't an issue for me at all, and I haven't had this lengthened. These are both bags are as is, so as designed and manufactured by Chanel. So there you go. And if I just show you side by side, if I have my hands equal, you can see there how much longer the reissue is. So it's about that much. So yeah, it's a good few inches. So which do I prefer? I don't have a favourite, and I don't think I have to. Now, this I've obviously owned for a while. I think it was 2017. This is actually from the same age, it's new to me, and these both would have cost the same retail price at the time actually. I think that this is an ultimate classic. At one point I thought about selling this bag because I wasn't using it very often. I now then decided that I wouldn't repurchase at what was current retail price of £7,550, I think so anyway. I wouldn't repurchase for that, but I'm really glad that I've got this in my collection. It was a handbag that I lusted after for many years. It took me about 5 years to actually get around to buying, so I'm really glad that I did. I think it's an ultimate classic, and when I have used her more recently, I've actually really enjoyed it and found her super functional and easy to wear and pretty easy to get in and out of, despite the double flap. This I think is beautiful. I just love the colourway on this one. I love the chevron because I've always loved the chevron of Chanel bags. I think that the strap is super lovely. There's some details about this bag that I really love. So, and I think that, you know, I think they're different enough. I can warrant having both of these. I could personally, and nothing against those that do have this, personally I couldn't warrant having a black reissue in this size and the black classic. That's just for me and for the size of my collection. But I really do think that both have their own place in my collection. I'm very much looking forward to using the reissue, and it was good. It was interesting actually seeing how much fits in both. Again, I didn't stuff either one. I could have put a bit more, I feel, in each one. I think that depth has a lot to play, and certainly when looking at the minis, I think you can get a lot more in the reissue mini compared to the standard classic rectangular mini. I don't own either anymore, but yeah. So these are they. I think they're lovely. I hope you found that useful. Do let me know any questions in the comments box below, and I will do my best to answer them. Take care everybody, and once again, see you tomorrow. Bye.